Alright guys, we're back at it again. This is round 2. We come prepared. We brought a Smart Actuator 1 with backup, and we brought a replacement touchpad. So we could have brought another actuator, but I feel that these two are the culprit. I don't know 100%. I'm basing all my judgment that this could be the issue. Remember, this is a CP control head. It's a special control head to operate these Smart Actuator 1s. But just in case that touchpad is good, we've got another actuator. So stay tuned. Alright guys, I'm going to try to do the easy things first. I don't know, sometimes I like doing the hardest things first, which will be the actuator. But this will be the easiest thing because everything is all plug and then programmed. So it's not a plug and play. But the reason why I suspect this is because this is always weathered. And inside this is the main circuit that communicates with the whole system. You need an actual CP, which is a control processor, and that's inside this. So on the other touchpads, you don't need it because it's inside the actual processor itself, which is the EEC3, the EEC4. So, but I'm going to do the easy route. I'm not going to remove this, but I'm going to actually go inside, unplug it, plug it in the back, and just see if the system turns on. If it does turn on, then we know that we hit a home run, and all we have to do is just remove this and replace it with a new one.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We're gonna end up replacing that touchpad that he's showing you right now with the one that we brought. So, like I said, it needs 2 terminating resistors to work, but there's one at the end of the line, which is the actuator in the engine room, and then there's one up on the tower because they're all daisy chained.
So we just finished swapping it out. I put a terminating resistor there. As you can see, my dad just switched on the system and it does not appear that this is the issue.
So now we're gonna go ahead and just roughly put the Smart Actuator 1 and reprogram it for the starboard side on that side, and then go ahead and just connect it and see if everything comes alive. So that's our next move.
Alright, so we brought the actuator with us. This one here is a port actuator, but you could always change the programming in it for port or starboard or ID1 or ID2, however you want to call it. So in order for us to do this quick, the start interlock doesn't need to be disconnected, because all we're going to do is just see if the system comes alive. If we're able to get the system to come alive, then all we need to do is just replace this, reprogram this, and take the other touchpad out. So it's a little bit more more expensive for the owner, because now he's involved in replacing an actuator just from changing out a touchpad. So I'm gonna go ahead and just sit this thing on top right now and start plugging things in there.
Cool.
So, I'll be
can
back.
you give me
All
a
right,
sec?
guys, it turned out worse than what I expected.
Alan, we are so...
But I was able to get the system to communicate. We went into full alarm. It wasn't 10-second delay. So we know that there's an issue. So as soon as I did that, I pulled the alarm off, and then it tells me that we have a communication error with the port side. So not only do we have a bad actuator on the starboard side and a bad touchpad, but we also have a situation with the port side actuator. But if you look at this actuator here, it's been sitting in water. So water got inside the circuit board here and most likely destroyed that, like it did on the starboard side. So my scenario is that this is water damage due to time and age. So we're gonna just come back to the boat and with another swing unit. So we do have this here and this here, but we need to come back with another actuator. So and I'll end our video. Back to the shop, I cleaned up a little bit. So, you know, it's not the best of me, but I try to give a good image to everybody. And as you know, we came with another touchpad, starboard side actuator, and we came with a port side actuator. We got everything connected with a new port side actuator, and we're gonna turn this puppy on. So now we got the system to work. We got both port and side actuators replaced with refurbished units. and we got another touchpad. But I know that when we replaced the touchpad and we replaced the starboard side actuator, we were able to communicate. But during that, we were still getting an alarm, and the alarm says couldn't communicate with the port side actuator. So something happened with the CAN bus. We did see some corrosion on the port side, and we did see some corrosion on the starboard side on the bottom base of the CP board. So our job right now is to not know, but I do know. Our job right now is to take off the port and side actuators, change the cables over, change the touchpad. Once we do that, then we'll go ahead and calibrate the system, and he's ready to go. So yes, we do have parts in stock, like I said, but this is a swing unit for this particular application. So we'll show you what we have to do.
So I replaced the touchpad, and I had to fix the end plug on one of them. Now what we're gonna do is just check up on the port and starboard actuators downstairs. Well, we're getting life from the system. So now these are in, port and starboard are in, and they seem to be working. You can hear over there the port side working flawlessly over there. And now the system's off. So, and now we're just going through our basic procedures, checking to see if everything is working fine. My dad told me to check and see if the backup and the mechanical backup goes in the same direction. That means that it is correct. So looking at this, it is correct.
Julian was showing you inside the engine room, the port side and the starboard side in motion or with the system operational. We're going to turn on the control system, and the system's going to come live, and it's going to come in warm. So now we take the warm button off, and now we're able to actually shift. Okay, the boat probably got hit by lightning or some sort of power surge. Not a direct hit because there's no evidence of the boat being hit, but for it to take out a touchpad and for it to take out both actuators. So I've already informed the owner, and right now everything is working on the boat, and we just have to, as far as you probably can see on the bottom, and we have our actuators, so we're going to go through that and fix them up. But what we wanted to do first is to see if we could pull an alarm, and we were able to pull an alarm after we took care of the touchpad and the starboard actuator, and then we found out there was other issues. But like I said, if you have any questions, just let us know in the description below.